Well, here we are with another edition of Earning Their Stripes. My name is Ian Smith, and as we sit here today in the dog days of the off season, we are lucky enough to have a special guest on the show today who is coming off just a dominating 2019 season. And that's Marlins pitching prospect Alex Vesia. A 17th round pick in the 2018 MLB draft, Alex is coming off a season where he struck out 100 batters in just 66 innings across 3 levels of the minors and then finished his season looking untouchable in the Arizona Fall League. Thanks for taking the time today, Alex, and how you doing?
Very good, very good. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, man. Well, how's your offseason going so far?
It's been good. I'm enjoying my off season here in San Diego. It's been kind of it feels like it's been a short off season, but I'm enjoying it. Been able to spend some quality time with my family and stuff, so it's been good.
Well, talking about last season, you started the year in Clinton where you put up some pretty good numbers, but once you were promoted to Jupiter, you took it to a whole nother level. Did pitching in the cold weather for the first time in your career have any effect on your game in your mind?
I mean, pitching in the cold was definitely some adversity that I've never really pitched in the cold, but I didn't think that hindered anything. I felt like my off season going into the 2019 season was pretty good, and then I got into spring training and we were tweaking some mechanical stuff, and that kind of transferred into Clinton. And I was on the verge of figuring things out with Clinton, and that's when I got moved up to high A. So once I got into high A, that's where everything was feeling really good. And I think obviously the numbers kind of showed it, but I just felt more and more confident once I got on the mound each time. I felt like my preparation and routine and stuff was just really locked in once I got into high A.
Well, absolutely, man. Well, talking about high A, I mean, July 17th on through the Arizona Fall League, you were just ridiculous. 33 and a third innings, 0 runs, 49 strikeouts to 4 walks. Did you really realize how dominant you were during that time?
No, not really. I've kind of got this thing where I don't look at my stats. It's not like a big thing of mine. That kind of started back in my freshman year of college. That there was a time where my mom and dad, they would always text me and stuff about like different strikeouts or ERA and stuff. When I told them, I was like, I don't want you guys to text me or talk to me about my stats. Just as long as I'm pitching good and stuff. That's all I really care about, because I know I'm giving my team the best opportunity, to win. And that's like this year. The first time I had seen my stats is when I had the Marlins had posted a picture on their Instagram page.
Absolutely.
I was scrolling through and it has the little like stat line at the bottom, and I scrolled over to my name and it had the 66 innings and 100 strikeouts, and I literally called my mom and I was like, "Is that legit?" And she was all, "Yeah, that's legit." I was like, wow, all right, pretty cool. So that's like something that I like to do. It keeps it simple for me. My only goal is to go out there and put up a 0 for that inning, since coming out of the pen, that's like the biggest thing, is to kind of pass that torch to the next guy. As long as I put up a 0, and keep my team in it, that's all I really care about. All the other stuff isn't super important to me. So yeah.
Yeah, you were putting up zeros every night, so I knew I had to feel it. But, well, I have to ask about the Mississippi game in extra innings. It was probably had everything you can ask for in a game. You picked off a runner at second. You had your only allowed walk in Double-A that night. You worked out of danger, and you had a plate appearance that resulted in a walk-off walk.
2-2. Swing and a foul into the middle of the catcher, Nieto. Strike 3, side retired. Vesia scoreless 10th and 11th innings here in the bottom of the 11th. The 3-0. Fastball low, ball 4. It's a walk-off walk for Alex Vesia in his first ever plate appearance.
Just tell me a little bit about that night.
That was seriously one of like the coolest experiences ever, because I was told that I was gonna go in if we had either tied it, and I was like, okay, so I start stretching and stuff and going through my routine. One guy gets a hit, another guy gets a hit, then the guy hits a double, scores 2 runs, and now I'm getting hot in the bullpen and stuff, and so yeah, that was cool. Me and Jazz, we were I think it was like either that day or the day before, we were working on pickoffs to second, and he had put it on and stuff, and I was super on board with him, and we got that guy. I thought that was a super cool play.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then Smoke comes up to me and goes, "Hey, have you ever hit before?" And I was like, "What?" Like, what do you mean? And so that was a very, very interesting plate appearance. I mean, he had told me, he goes, "You're not going to swing the bat until you get a strike," and I was like, "All right, sounds good. I understand," because I'm pretty sure we had no outs. So if I would have struck out anyway, we would have had 2 more chances to get the guy in. So yeah, I totally understood that. So yeah, and I saw the first pitch. I think it was anywhere between 92 and 94, and I was like, "Wow, that's what it looks like," because I haven't hit in 7 years. The last time I can remember, I think it was my sophomore year in high school, maybe.
Oh yeah,
Different
level of talent there, AA.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Well, I have to ask about the Jacksonville crowd a little bit. It's been known as one of the best atmospheres in minor league baseball. But how is pitching in high pressure situations in that stadium?
That was honestly a super cool and surreal feeling, because you always imagine a big crowd where you can really feel that. I always think about the World Series. Those pitchers have to be, the adrenaline and heart rate has to be going through the roof.
Absolutely.
And definitely in Jacksonville, though, the crowd day in and day out. I was there. I think I played 10 or 12 games there. And yeah, the crowd was absolutely just roaring most of those nights, with whether it was in 7th, 8th, 9th inning, we were winning and stuff. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. They get into it when you strike out a guy and they're cheering for you, or even when one of our hitters hits a home run or something. Oh man, they go nuts. It's that crowd was always packed. So yeah, that was cool. Those people are also super, super nice and welcoming.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, it's been a fun stadium. I haven't spent too much time up there because it's a little bit of a drive for me, but I spent some time there last year at a couple 6-0 starts, and it was 100 degrees out, and the stadium was packed to watch a minor league game, and it's just a different experience when you get to be like that. I mean, especially going from Jupiter to Jacksonville, I know how that could be. But we'll get back to your pitching a little bit here. Your fastball, being a lefty, hitting 98 is a legit weapon, but your changeup seem to develop a lot this year, and your slider flash plus when you're in Arizona. How do you feel like your secondaries are coming along right now?
I think that my changeup has been by far my best pitch in a close situation, 2-2, 3-2 counts. I'm not shy with that pitch at all. I can throw it, whenever or whenever I would like to. And that was a super big pitch that I had learned at Instructs after 2018. After I got drafted, I went to Instructs, and that was pretty much what they had told me. They're like, "You're only gonna throw the changeup," and I was like, "All right, sounds good. I understand what you mean." And I'd worked on it through the off season, and got a really good feel for it early in spring training. And then, every time I got into the bullpen, it was, that was the first thing that I wanted to feel good, because I knew that the fastball was going to be there because my mechanics felt really good. I wasn't, pulling off or leaking it or anything with my front side. And so that was really good. And then once I got to high A, that was where we started talking more about the slider, because it seemed like the fastball and the changeup were good. They were consistent, and that's where with the slider, I wanted that to be consistent too, because having 3 pitches is, always ideal. You don't want to just be a 2-pitch pitcher. So that's been what I've been working on. And in the fall league, I felt like I made really good progress with it, with the shape. And then it was just now working on the consistency. And so during the off season here, when I get into throwing and everything, that's definitely going to be a pretty big focus. So.
Well, I mean, that's got to be a great feeling knowing you're going into the last year's offseason. I mean, throwing your changeup and being happy with it, but then now throwing it so dominantly, and they know you can throw it dominantly. And I mean, the numbers are really, really there to prove itself. So that's got to be a great feeling knowing your pitchers are coming along like they are.
Right, yeah, and it's I'm not trying to rush anything. I understand the process, and I know it's not going to just be an overnight thing. And I think that's kind of helped that process, because I'm not trying to force anything. I understand that, if I can throw 3 or 4, on a good day, 5 sliders in a row that are consistent with the same shape, I'll take it,
Yeah.
And it's just building off that day in and day out to throw 6, 7, 8 in a row that, have the same shape. They've got the same speed. They're hitting the glove, or there looks like they're going to be the outside corner and it dies out. Those are certain things that I kind of look for when I'm playing catch or throwing a flat ground and stuff like that.
You got to take all the little victories you can. I mean, especially in times like that when you feel like your pitchers are coming along like that. I mean, everything's a victory at that point.
Yeah, exactly. There's not, just trying to stay as positive as possible is something that I like to strive for, in any situation, just because, baseball is a pretty tough game that there's a lot of criticism and tweaks that, oh, you could do this better and you can do this better. And, I try to keep it as simple as possible.
Absolutely, man. I mean, you're taking the best approach at this, and it's showing. Well, I'd like to talk to you about your approach with lefties and righties, because you've actually been more successful in your pro career against righties, being a left-handed pitcher, striking out, I think, 36% of every righty faced. What do you think makes you effective in those matchups?
There isn't something that I do differently when a righty or a lefty comes up to the box. There's nothing really that I change. I mean, I like to spot the fastball inside, outside, up and down. I like that approach, especially after the first swing. If they can't hit it, I mean, I'm not going to speed up their bat by trying to throw a changeup or something, slower. Being able to, hit the corners is something that I like to do. And I guess maybe it's something that I haven't noticed or something, or maybe it just works, but I know that the changeup definitely has a better swing and miss with a righty, and maybe that's because I throw it more. And I'm not too sure, but I would think that the changeup probably has a big effect on that.
Well, we're going to talk about your year in total right here, right now. So it must have been a special year, because it's coming full circle almost. From starting the year in A-ball to closing the year pitching the best of your career against the highest level of talent in the Arizona Fall League, including a save in the championship game. How was the Fall League experience for you?
The Fall League was something that I'll never forget that. That was getting pulled into the coach's office, and hearing the news and stuff. That was something that, I'll never forget. And then going there, being around all those guys, was really cool. I really enjoyed it. The atmosphere is the high end level of baseball. I don't think that I've ever been around, that talented group before, and I mean, I pretty much told myself that just to go out there and compete and kind of give them what you got, because I wasn't going to try to go out and change myself because I was around people that, are super talented. I try to just kind of rise to that occasion and try to make the most of every opportunity that I'm given. So, going out there and listening to different coaches, that was really nice just to kind of hear different perspectives. And I wasn't trying to change anything, but I'm always open to learning new things, and maybe changing a routine of how I stretch or how I throw pregame or something. And yeah, I love that opportunity. I'm really thankful that I was able to go, and closing out the championship game. That I can definitely see myself doing that in the future. I like doing that.
The 2-2. Popped up right side. Encarnacion sizes it up, drifting back. And the Salt River Rafters in 2019 are the Arizona Fall League champions.
Especially when they called out, and I kind of just knew. So that was fun. It was a lot of fun.
I mean, I think your performance in the fall league is not good enough credit for what you did either. I know you don't want to hear about those stats, but just what you did.
No, you're all right.
10 innings. I mean, 16 Ks, only 2 walks. You almost struck out nearly half the batters you faced. You only faced 37, struck out 16 of them. I mean, just filthy numbers. I mean, I know that's got to show leaps and bounds in the organization. And going forward, how does it feel? You have a real chance to impact a big league club going into just your second full pro season.
Yeah, I mean, that's I like that. I mean, I don't know. It kind of leaves me speechless at the time, because I still feel like a kid who's a Division II baseball player. I try to stay, humble, and I have good friends that keep me like that, which is funny. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of get speechless when I think about that. Definitely, it's my goal. That's what I want to do. This is, people have asked me, oh, how does it feel to be in the position that you're at? And I mean, I love it. I think that I have a good thing going, and all I want to do is just continue to get better. And that's not my call, whether it's this year or next year. It's kind of whenever they think that I'm ready, and when that time comes, I know I'll be the most prepared that I can possibly be. And hey, we'll go out there and we'll give it to them.
Absolutely, man. There's nothing wrong with the humble approach. I mean, your performance is really preceding itself. And I just really have one more question for you later today. And I was just reading back on your college days. I seen that you mentioned that Derek Jeter was one of your favorite players growing up. And I was just wondering how it feels to be playing for him now that you're a professional.
Yeah, that's a surreal feeling. I vividly remember my freshman year of college, and all my roommates and we were watching his last game, and we remember, I remember watching him get that hit and everything, and they won the game, and that was his final game playing. As a little kid, you always do the Derek Jeter throw. You always, he was my idol. He's one of my favorite players, just because on and off the field, he was always just super humble. So getting to meet him, I was a little starstruck a little bit. He's my boss. He's seen me pitch. That's just for him to kind of have my name maybe run through his head. Holy smokes. That's like a cool thing. So
absolutely.
Yeah, that's, I don't know. That's just it's a crazy thing that, back in 2014, if you would have told me that he was going to be my boss one day, I would have been like, ha, you're out of your mind, and now that's the reality of it. And hey, I love it. It's cool.
It's been great having you today, man. I appreciate you taking the time during your off season. And
yeah, thank you. Thank you.
I'm really excited to meet you this spring in Jupiter. So enjoy the rest of your off season. Hope you have a happy holidays, and thanks for being on with us.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it, and happy holidays to you.